All right, we are back this week for the first race of the summer series here for SSRL. We're at Daytona. We got 80 laps here tonight, and I'm Tony Hilbrands. I'm joined by Ryan O'Hara again this week. Yep.
And the Apex Energy Summer Throwback Series welcomes you live here at Daytona International Speedway for our season opener. It's the Apex Energy 200. And Tony, we have one driver from the Netherlands in our group this season. However, Chris Campbell is not in the race, so we have an all-American field here tonight. So all these drivers are looking to stamp their name in sim racing history. I'm Ryan O'Hara alongside Tony Hilbrand, and these drivers are getting ready for 200 miles and 80 laps of pure excitement. Tony, tell us a little bit about this track and what these fans can expect tonight.
Well, this is a super speedway, and these cars don't have restrictor plates, so there's going to be a lot of speed here. There's going to be a lot of struggling to keep the car under them, and you might see people get hooked with bump drafting, which these cars weren't really made for. But if you tuned in last week for the Clash, there was definitely quite a few incidents where people were trying to give someone else a bump and they went flying through the grass. Also, people, like I said, trying to keep the car under them, kept hitting the walls coming out of the corners. Out of 2 and 4, there's a lot of door slams and spins that were causing that. But we ended up having a great battle to the finish where we had like 6 people battling for the win, even though there aren't plates. So just gonna be some good hard racing tonight, and it's all gonna be all about car control, which you don't usually think too much on plate tracks like this. But again, these cars don't use plates.
There were also a few incidents, Tony, where some drivers were simply trying to be courteous to their competitors, and given the fact that there's no power steering in these cars, some of these drivers ended up, getting into the wall and ruining their day just by being nice. And with that said, do you think that give and take, or the lack of give and take, could potentially cause some incidents, either early or later in this event?
Oh, definitely, because if you're coming up on someone and they do something you're not expecting them to do, or if you do something that you're not expecting is gonna be taken a certain way by other drivers, there's not a whole lot of room on this track. It's not as wide as Talladega, for instance, and you're going so fast, just anything can happen at any time. But with that, we will go through the national anthem quick as qualifying is just starting, and we will catch back with you guys as qualifying is about to wrap up. So we'll be back in a minute, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Apex Energy 200, the Apex Energy Summer Throwback Series season debut here at Daytona International Speedway. Ryan O'Hare and Tony Hilbrand in the booth. And Tony, qualifying is underway. And very quickly, let's go over a few drivers who could potentially be favorites in this race. I think the first person we should start off with is Sam Oliver, who won the season opening Clash right after coming out of retirement from this series. So the moment he steps back in behind his race car, he wins the race. What do you think are his chances of pulling the Speed Weeks sweep here at Daytona?
Well, if everything goes smoothly for him, obviously he's got a really good chance. He ran up front most of the race last week, but again, it is Daytona, so anything can happen. And like we were talking about earlier, you might get yourself in a situation you weren't expected. But we also got people like Chris Smith, who's back at the top of the board, who was on the pole last week for that Clash as well, and he led a lot of the race until he had caught up in an incident, but he was still there at the end. Uh, Aaron Smith, who didn't race that, is always one to beat. He's won the last two champion. I believe he's won the last two championships. He did win last year's Cup Series championship. And then Scott Sobczak, who's always fast, as you can see. Those are the top three currently on the board. There's gonna be a lot of tough competition out there tonight, especially, and I believe for the rest of the season. There's a lot of good drivers out here.
And according to my clock, we have just over a minute and a half left in this qualifying session. Right now, we have two Smiths at the top of the board. It is Aaron Smith II and Chris Smith. I'm guessing Aaron would rather be called the second than Junior,
Yep.
but both of them are up front at the moment. Sam Oliver's third. Scott Sobczak is currently scored in fourth. Now, of course, Tony, Scott has Scotty under his banner this season. And he explained the reasoning after the Clash, and that's because he believes there are too many Scotts in this league. But it appears right now he's the only Scott in the race. So I suppose Scott wouldn't be a bad name to go with.
Well, he did end up getting third last week, so Scotty might still be some good luck for him. As we see, this is winding down. We just saw Braxton DeWeese, who we were riding on there. He comes out of qualifying in sixth so far. Looks like there's only a couple people left who need to put a time in, but they might choose not to, so they can start at the back. Yeah, we got 80 laps here tonight. It looks like the fuel window is going to be 35 to 40 laps, and they got 4 sets of tires this season. So that's 3 sets of tires in the pits, and the set of tires they start on. There is also 2 green-white checkers if needed, and we're just about to get gridded here. So we're gonna be in for a good night here tonight, I believe. And I hope everybody who's watching, we do see some people in the chat already being active, and hopefully you guys can have fun here tonight too, and keep cheering on who you're here to watch. We will go through the grid here in just a second.
And qualifying is officially complete. And Aaron Smith II was a late inclusion into the Apex Energy series for this throwback session. He hails from South Carolina, but he will start on the pole with a lap of 43.907. Aaron Smith II on the pole. Chris Smith will be starting on the outside of the front row. Sam Oliver, our Clash winner, will start in third. Scotty Sobczak in fourth. Nicholas Lovell in fifth. Braxton DeWeese, hailing from Miamisburg, Ohio, will start in sixth. James Ledford seventh. Daniel Berg in eighth. Chris Whitaker in ninth. And Ben Keast will round out the top 10. Tony, you take over.
Starting 11th will be James Suggs, and 12th will be Johnny Rapp. 13th is the 7 of Wesley Pistol, and Matt Scherf in the 43 will be starting 14th. 15th will be Ellis Thomas. 16th is Brandon Waldrop in the 50 car. Patrick O'Toole will be starting in 17th, followed by Eric Kulaga in 18th. 19th is Jay Steffi. That is our race control, who is showing there in 20th, but 20th will be Patrick Colby here rounding out the field tonight. So we got 20 cars starting. Also, as you saw on the grid, I can pop it up one more time. The pole award this season is brought to you by Evan Pienta Designs, and Aaron Smith is your first Evan Pienta Designs pole award winner of the season with that. So Congrats
And
to
I
Aaron
also
Smith on that.
did notice, sorry for
No,
interrupting, that
go
we
ahead.
also have an Al Corey in the server. Is he not starting today?
It looks like he is. He'll be 21st then. He didn't show up on the grid for some reason, but he is gridded in the scoring. So
It looks like he will start 22nd. Looks like he'll be right behind Patrick Colby. So that is how the field will line up for this 80 lap event here at Daytona International Speedway. And of course, Tony, we did the truck series about 4 weeks ago, and extremely competitive league, clean racing all around. And at the end of the day, or shall I say, the end of the season, it was Johnny Rapp hoisting the championship, and boy, was he impressive all year long. Now, he didn't have the greatest race of the class, ended up getting in a late race wreck, but Johnny Rapp can pretty much drive anything. And with that kind of trait, with these cars, how much of a threat is Johnny going to be this season?
well, he's definitely going to be a contender. He always is. Also, sorry about that, fans. I don't know if the stream's getting a little glitchy on your guys' end. It is stuttering a little bit on my end. Hopefully, it's just on my end and not for you guys. And we do have a lot of people in the chat showing a lot of favoritism towards the 15 of that Braxton Deweese, who wasn't here last week, but he is here tonight. I believe this is his first race here. And as you were saying, yeah, Johnny Rapp is always a contender. He's a lot like Mark Martin. He's always just keeping his car as clean as possible and trying to be in. He's always there at the end as long as he doesn't get caught up in anything.
Absolutely. And I also, would liken him to Matt Kenseth, but at the same time, Mark Martin and Matt Kenseth were very similar. But here we go. 80 laps, 200 miles here at the Daytona International Speedway. Aaron Smith II leads the field to the green flag. We're underway for the Apex Energy 200.
Everyone gets a nice clean start. It looks like the outside line, a few rows deep, got a little sluggish there, but everyone's nice and clean.
We had one car come out of pit road. That was Scotty Sobczak. It looks like he decided to start from pit road.
Aaron Smith is holding on to the lead here. He's trying to block both lanes as they go down the backstretch, but 59 of Sam Oliver is a big run going into turn 3, and it's probably going to take the lead here in the corner.
And Chris Smith gave Aaron Smith II a big break there. He definitely could have split it 3 wide, but he decided to check up, and they will make it through the first lap clean. But the leader, Sam Oliver, will lead the first lap of the Apex Energy 200. Our season opening Clash winner is out front.
Yeah, he's definitely showing that last week wasn't a fluke currently. He led a lot of the race, and he's trying to lead every lap here apparently, because he did lead lap 1, and we still have a long way to go. So that's why you didn't see Chris push the issue too hard there on lap 1, as Aaron Smith does make a run out to the outside going into turn 3 here.
Not sure why Oliver decided to move from the top to the bottom. That allowed Aaron Smith II to get to his outside, and it looks like Smith II is going to take the lead and lead the second lap of this race, but he will go down to the bottom of the racetrack and move back up, trying to figure out which lane he wants to block. But it looks like right now the field is getting a little bit separated. And here comes the 3 car of Nicholas Lovell to the bottom of the racetrack, and he will be side by side with Chris Smith coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, Aaron is trying to manage both lanes here. As you can see, he gets a bump down the backstretch going into 3 from Sam Oliver.
And as you said, Tony, these cars can be a little aero sensitive once you do some bump drafting. What's the key to drafting here and not spinning out the car in front of you?
Well, if you are going to give them a bump, you want to be as dead center as you possibly can. But other than that, you just want to try to suck up to someone and just try to push them with the air, unless you want to slingshot around. But when you're slingshotting around and everything, you're going to bring everyone behind you back up to you. But it looks like the top 3 here are going single file. Now top 5 look to be single file.
Well, fans don't exactly like single file racing at a restrictor plate track. This is technically a restrictor plate track, but these are the 1987 cars, which means there are no plates. So this is just old fashioned Daytona. But, these drivers, this is the start of the race. They want to get to at least the halfway point before they start making any drastic moves.
Oh, looks like we got some issue back here. The 85 of
Oh,
Ben Keys
trouble,
got
trouble,
into the
trouble.
wall coming out of turn 4. He keeps
What
it
a
up high out of
save.
the way. Oh, he blew his engine as well. So it looks like this might bring out a caution. We'll see if it stays green. Nope,
And now the
we do have
caution
our
is out.
first caution. We do have our first. Let's bring this back and see what exactly happened here. Yeah, like we were talking about earlier the race, he's on the high side coming out of 4, and he just gets a little too high and he hits the wall hard, but he does keep it up there out of the way, and everyone else does a good job staying out of danger there, but he just got too much damage. I don't know if he tried to shift to get back going, but he blew his engine there and he spins out, and there was another car coming up behind, so the caution did get thrown. Unfortunate for Ben Keist here tonight.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Aaron Smith is your leader as the caution comes out. The field is trying to catch up to the pace car. We will see if anyone decides to come down pit road here under caution. This is also a good time where, as we were saying a few minutes ago, there's a lot of you guys being active in the chat. And this season, we have a thing where, as long as you guys are active in the chat, Ellis and Chris, who run the league during the final race of the season in about a month and a half or so, because we got about 6 races, I believe, this season. We will announce who will be drawn as a winner to get a month's supply of Apex Energy. And all you got to do is be active in the chat. Tell us who you've cheered for. Just interact with us, ask questions, or give us some info yourself, and you'll have a chance at winning a free month supply of Apex Energy. And it looks like Aaron Smith, your leader, is coming down pit road, and he seems to be the only one, it looks like, so far.
What do you think could be the strategy here? Do you believe that, he's topping off on fuel?
We do have a few more cars coming down. Aaron, yeah, that's probably what he's doing. But Aaron also, I've actually raced with him a lot in other leagues, and he tends to always come down pit road right away because he likes to make his way through the field. He's kind of like that. He wants to earn his way back to the front, have some fun. That's just how he is. So we'll see how this turns out. As again, we had about 8 cars, it looks like, on pit road. Plus, again, you can see the 85 sitting there on pit road trying to fix his damage. Johnny Rapp is the last one to pull off here.
And taking a look at our chat on Twitch, RedmanRN says, quote, surprised that blew his engine, unquote. And I'll have to say, I agree with you, RedmanRN. I'm not sure what your real name is, but we'll go with RedmanRN. Yeah, that wasn't a huge hit, but sometimes in iRacing, even the smallest hit can end up being a catastrophic engine failure. So I think that might have been just, one of those deals. Maybe iRacing anticipated or felt a harder hit than we did. Not really sure. But unfortunate and pretty much the end of the day for Ben Keist.
Yeah, like I was saying, it kind of sounded like he tried to downshift so he could get some momentum back going, so he wouldn't lose the draft. And if that is the case, that's probably why he blew his engine. He just he didn't match his RPMs, and the engine couldn't handle it. If
Yeah,
that's not the
absolutely.
case, then yeah, like as you were saying, iRacing's damage can be a little weird sometimes. It looks like we got a Dan Berg fan in the chat as well, along with, as I was saying earlier, we've got a few Braxton Deweese fans, and we had someone cheered for Johnny Rapp earlier too, I believe, while we were talking about him. So
We appreciate
all
all the
3
fans
of
for being here tonight. And if you are looking for button boxes, visit www.simracingconcepts.com for your button boxes.
yeah, it looks like we're taking the 1 to green here, so we will be taking the green flag next time by. The lights are off on the pace car.
Sam Oliver will lead the field back to the green flag. Nicholas Lovell in second. James Ledford in third. In fourth, we have Chris Smith and Daniel Berg rounding out the top 5. On this upcoming restart, our first of the evening.
Pets, everybody. Sometimes they like to make themselves known as well. Yeah, Liz. I don't know about you guys in the chat, but there's a lot of nice looking paint schemes out there. We did kind of talk about that last week if you weren't here for that, but there's definitely some good looking cars out there tonight. Hopefully they can keep them clean, as most of them have. But it looks like we will be coming back to take the green on lap 9, so we will have 72 laps to go when the green flag comes back out in about 40 seconds.
So the strategy when we get the green flag, Tony, do you believe these drivers, especially after how they were racing towards the end of that first, I guess you can call it stage, end of that first stage there? We saw a lot of drivers go single file. We saw some drivers be aggressive. After seeing a wreck like that very early in this race, do you think these drivers will try to get single file as soon as possible?
I think the majority of them are going to be like, yeah, we got over 70 laps left to go. We're gonna take it a little easy. But there's always people out there who are like, hey, if you want to take it easy, I'll take the free spots. So we'll see who does what. And the pace car is about to pull off here, and the green flag is about to come out.
Off. And we are back underway. Green flag is in the air. Sam Oliver leads the field to the green flag. And very quickly, looks like Chris Smith has a fan in the chat. Bama Nurse 2162 is cheering for Chris Smith. So Alabama folks all over the place. But one particular fan is cheering for Chris Smith. As we're back underway, Sam Oliver, James Ledford, and Nick Lovell, they are pulling away from the 4th and 5th place cars, as the 2 course cars are side by side down the backstretch. This is James Suggs and Ellis Thomas.
Yeah, your trading paints might not be working again. But yeah, the top 3 got lined up really quickly, and they put a gap on the rest of the field. But it looks like they're starting to line up as well. As you can see, Chris Smith getting a big run there. He's got a huge draft. He's gonna probably have a lot of momentum, and he might try to make a move here. Going into 1. Nope, he's going to tuck in behind Lovell as they go through 1 and 2. And everyone looks to be pretty single file out until about 10th or 12th place back there.
I'll probably have to refrain from sponsorships because Trading Paints has been having some issues since the update. So we will just keep on going. And that means Sam Oliver and James Ledford are nose to tail for the lead. And Nick Lovell is followed closely by Chris Smith and James Suggs, who is a few car lengths back.
It looks about like the top 9 or so are nose to tail.
Whoa, and Wesley Pistol and Jay Steffi nearly made contact coming off 4. Steffi making the slingshot move. No pun intended for the Slingshot Racing League, but Steffi will lose that spot, and Wesley Pistol will move ahead, and that battle was for the 13th position.
Yeah, they were really tight there through the tri-oval, as Wesley does make the pass cleanly.
The wall going into 3, just barely brushed it. So good recovery there, and another car nearly got the wall, and that looked like Chris Smith may have brushed the wall coming off 4. But we're still green.
Yeah, it looks like he's fallen back there a little bit. There's still single file through the top 5. Oh, it looks like the 41 was trying to make a block there. Almost some contact.
Like the 41 got loose, to be honest.
Gotcha. But there was almost some contact, but everyone made it through there pretty cleanly. And you can see there's some double file there behind these guys.
And one of those is the
almost 3 line.
56 of Eric Kaluga.
Oh, the 50 car brushed the wall coming out of turn 4 there. Oh, looks like the 44 DC'd last lap. We didn't quite catch it. Somebody in the chat has brought it up. Up front, though, we got a battle for the lead as Matt Scherf is looking to the outside here, trying to take the lead in 3 and 4. He doesn't have
Almost had to
any
ask
help,
what
though.
DC meant.
He has no help on the outside, though, so he's going to stall out here momentarily. We'll see if Lovell goes with him. He does go high. No, he's coming back down. So Scherf is trying to fight out here for the lead all by himself on the outside.
Seems pretty early to be racing this aggressive, Tony, and it doesn't look like any of these drivers, except for Chris Whitaker, is willing to take the bait. And Whitaker is not exactly anywhere close to being in a position to help him get to the front.
Yeah, but you got to remember, if you can get it, you can. If you lead a lap, you get a bonus point. So I'm sure Matt was trying to get a bonus point there, and now he's kind of just stuck out there. But as you're saying, there's not a lot of help for a little bit. But now Aaron Smith is back up towards the front. He's the second car on the outside.
Oh, and he's in the wall, and a huge wreck coming off 4, and this is a big one.
That is definitely going to bring out a yellow. And unfortunately, it gets Nicholas Lovell involved as well. We will replay. We'll watch this here.
So, you were saying, Tony, a little bit too aggressive?
Well, it's not really. It was just the thing we were talking about earlier. Just being on the outside, the car likes to wash up, and there's only so much track. And unfortunately, he gets a lot of other people involved.
Yeah, he got a little bit tight, but it looks like he got Nicholas Lovell. Chris Smith got some damage, and Ellis Thomas barely made it through that.
Let's try to go on board here with Lovell and see what he saw. Oh, I'm a little wonky on the POV here, but here's Lovell coming out of 4 as Scherf hits the wall and then catches him. There's just nothing Lovell could have done there, and then he just, luckily, most of the field missed him, but then he did have somebody hit him head on there. Not sure who that was, but that's going to be unfortunate for those. Let's see, who is that? Looks like the 45? The 45 of Al Corey. So we got a big wreck here. A few cars are going to be out of the race. We'll see if anybody comes down pit road.
I'll tell you what, Tony. You got to check out the onboard cameras for drivers like Jay Steffi, Daniel Berg, and Scotty Sobczak. They had to go through the grass to avoid that wreck, and I have to say they did a heck of a job. Props to them.
We do have some cars coming down pit road led by Matt Scherf, Ellis Thomas, Aaron Smith, and others. We will take a quick commercial break while these guys are pitting, and when we come back, we might be able to check those onboards, as you were saying. If not, then we will be coming back to green here. Be right back.
And welcome back to Daytona International Speedway here in the Apex Energy Summer Throwback Series. And there was a big wreck a few moments ago that brought up the first caution of the day. Matt Sheriff got high off turn 4, got on the wall, came down, and right hooked Nicholas Lovell into the wall. Chris Smith was also involved. And we had a number of drivers that had to take evasive action down pit road, as well as the infield grass. And Tony, huge wreck here early in the race.
Yeah, again, unfortunate for Lovell getting caught up in that. He was just an innocent bystander, and then everyone did a good job missing, but the numbers weren't in his favor or Al Corey's favor, and they just kind of head on there. Both of them are probably out for the race, it looks like. But yeah, we're gonna have just over 60 laps to go when we come back to the green here, as we are on 1 to green. It looks like Sam Oliver, your race leader, is gonna choose the outside line. We'll see if these guys can get a good green flag run in under them. And again, a fuel window is 35 to 40 laps, so we'll see if they can get some green flag pit stops in. But we do still have, it looks to be 17 people on the lead lap. Looks like Al Corey is showing 1 lap down, so he might still be on track. Lovell is 3 laps down. He has not left. It looks like he just went to the garage, and so was Patrick O'Toole. And Ben Keese is 12 laps down from that first incident, that first caution, and he is still getting repairs. He has not technically taken it behind the wall yet. But we have 17 people on the lead lap, and we're just about to go green here.
For those of you who are feeling a little bit sleepy, Apex Energy has the solution for you. For a 10% discount on Apex Energy, head to apexenergy.com and use our code Slingshot10. That is Slingshot10 for 10% off your next order. And now we're heading back to the green flag. It'll be lap 18, and we are back underway. Sam Oliver leads the field to the green.
He gets a nice jump. He's going to pull down in front of James Ledford there as they cross the line, trying to build up as much momentum as possible so they can pull away from the field. And it looks like James Suggs of the 20 moved into 3rd, while Patrick Colby's in 4th, and Johnny Rapp is up to 5th.
It looks like Scotty Somczak may have missed a shift in that restart because he did not go. But it looks like he's now back underway, attempting to track down the lead pack here, as we have a car going to the outside all by himself. And that is Johnny Rapp.
Yep, Johnny's like, I'm just going to ride this outside line and see where it takes me. It looks like there's a couple other guys, the 41.
Oh, trouble in the back in turn 3. We have 1 car in the grass, and that is Eric Kaluga. And we have another car involved. That is Brandon Waldrop. And somehow a caution did not come out because they crashed. Let's take a look at what happened in turn 3. It looks like Chris Smith got in the back of Kaluga, got past it, and Kaluga spun across the track and collected Brandon Waldrop, but somehow no caution came out.
Oh yeah, he just got hooked a little bit on the right, and yeah, there's nowhere for the 50 to go, but yeah, no caution. And I apologize, the replay button wasn't working, so I had to do that manually, and that might be the issue the rest of the race as we go back up front. And there's a huge battle up front for the lead.
Patrick Colby and James Suggs made contact off turn 4, and Tony, things are starting to heat up, and we're only on lap 20. We still have 60 laps to go in this thing.
They're only a quarter of the way in, and everyone's racing like they want the win already. I don't know about that, guys, but they're definitely putting on a show for everyone watching. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. Looks like Aaron Smith's going to try to maybe squeeze in the middle. No, he goes to the outside behind the 41 of Chris Whitaker. Up front,
and Johnny Rapp got loose coming off 2, nearly got the wall. And he's going to get freight trained by these guys down the back straightaway as Sam Oliver continues to lead the way.
Looks like Rapp's lost about 6 spots already. And yeah, Sam Oliver and James Ledford have been hooked up this whole run. And Patrick Colby, who started 2nd to last, has moved all the way up to 3rd already. And he's looking to get a win out here tonight. He ended last season's Truck Series on a win, and he wants to try to start off this season with a win in the 87 Summer Throwback Series here with Slingshot Racing League.
Things got a little bit steamy at the start of this run, but it looks like these drivers have started to calm down a little bit. We do have some side-by-side action.
Oh,
Trouble!
sideways.
Ellis Thomas gets into the back of James Suggs. Around goes Chris Whitaker, and they're all wrecking.
That's probably going to bring out a yellow.
And
I
no
don't see how
caution
it
yet.
won't. Oh, the 15 gets involved as well.
Brendan DeWeese goes around.
Doesn't
Still
look
no
like he
caution.
has much damage, but yeah, we're still into green, it looks like, so that's unfortunate for
And
anyone
they're still wrecking.
involved.
Scotty Sobczak
Up
slows down.
front.
And the caution's out. So
I'm trying.
let's
There's
take a
just so
look.
much going on. Yeah, let's try to get the replay here.
It looks like James Suggs checked up a little bit going into the corner, and perhaps he got a little bit loose. Ellis Thomas looks like he wasn't expecting it.
Yeah,
got
it
into
like
the
Ellis,
back of Suggs, and then that's how that all started.
It looked like Ellis actually washed up a little wider in the corner and just clipped him, and then everyone else got involved after that. And that was a wreck that just kept on going with no caution, and then eventually a caution did come out. But yeah, we'll try to take a few more views of this. We'll ride on with the 41 here. We'll go to the cockpit. We'll see what he saw as he's behind Ellis Thomas going into turn 3. You can see Ellis came up just ever so slightly, clipped the left rear, and then the 41 just got brushed, and he's just trying to save it, and he came away with out of it better than most of them, but there weren't that many involved. It looks like there's only 3 or 4 that probably got damaged, and then the 15 of Brandon DeWeese Braxton DeWeese also got caught up in it, but he looked like his car was pretty clean there. So unfortunate again. Everyone's just kind of like we were saying before the race. You gotta expect the unexpected, otherwise, something like that's probably gonna happen out there. And again, got a few cars caught up in that.
And Ellis Thomas has been deemed responsible for the crash, and he has been issued an EOL penalty. That means end of line. Anytime that you are deemed to have caused a crash, you get sent to the back, regardless if you can continue or not, as we have a bunch of guys coming down pit road.
We got some fakers.
I apologize. We had a few fakers, quite a bit of fakers, actually. So we have James Ledford heading down pit road, as well as Samba Oliver, who was our race leader.
Your top 2 went down, and then third on back, most of which faked them out and stayed out, and Patrick Colby's going to lead that lap, but we do have quite a few people on pit road as well. Looks about 9 cars on pit road, so we'll see them taking their stops here. And while we were under caution, Slingshot Racing League does have a rig of the race they like to promote and a driver of the race. We will, under this caution, we will take a look at the rig of the race, which this week will be Ellis Thomas, who unfortunately was involved in that incident. So I assume this is apropos for the moment.
Okay.
So he can win rig of the race, but driver of the race is probably not available at this current time.
Motion base. It goes up,
still have a long
down,
way to go
left and right.
because there could be a number
got base
of
shakers built
wrecks
in for
going
vibrations.
forward. We still have a long way to go in this race. We're on lap
down
24 of
there.
80, and we've already had 3 cautions in this race, Tony.
32-inch
Are you
TV,
surprised
so
that we've had so many cautions
really fancy? You got
this early in the
triple-screen
race?
monitor
I'm gonna
mount
let the
made out
rig of
of
the
a
race
20.
video play first.
The wheel I'm using is a Fanatic CSL DD wheel. I've got the CSL Elite load cell pedals now. There you can see I've got some bass shakers on the throttle and the brake, which kind of help me feel the car a little bit more. Still doesn't make me good, but I definitely feel the immersion. The main button box I use right now is the Stream Deck, which allows me to kind of interchange different buttons. I'm working on getting a Sim Racing Concepts button box, maybe with a Stream Deck kind of holder built into it. The shifter I'm using is a Huskenville shifter with kind of a extension attachment built onto it. So yeah, it's not a basic rig. This is something I've been working on for many years, and it's still not very fancy. You can see the cable management is leaves a little to be desired, but yeah, it's what I enjoy. So yeah, thanks for taking a tour with me.
And that was this week's rig of the race by Ellis Thomas. So you can see what he was working with as he was trying to go through the corner, and what he had to try to do to get out of that as much as possible. But you know, these things happen, incidents happen. We are back, Ryan. So we're going to be coming to the green flag this next time by. And again, Patrick Colby and Aaron Smith stayed out. They were going to be your top two. It looks, and third will be Daniel Berg. Fourth is Jay Steffi, and fifth is Johnny Rapp here as we come to the green on lap 26 this next time by.
And Ellis has quite the rig there. I can't say I have the same. Mine's pretty basic.
It's definitely a nice setup. Next caution we'll probably go over the driver of the race for you guys, so you can see who that is this week. But again, that's gonna be a feature that we're gonna be taking out every week. Every week you'll see a new rig of the race by somebody who races in a Slingshot Racing League, and you'll see a little video of a driver of the race, so you can get to know more about them. But we're coming back to green here for on lap 26 of 80 with Patrick Colby as the leader.
And Patrick Colby has a super fan in the chat. It's me, Happy45 says, "Let's go, Colby. I love you." Well, I'm assuming this is the girlfriend, Patrick, but it appears she is your #1 fan.
Yeah, there's quite a few people out here that are getting cheered on. We got Daniel Berg getting cheered on again some more, and we are going to take the green here now as Patrick Colby gets a nice start. The front row gets a nice start. They gap the rest of the field pretty well. Let's see if they will hook up and try to pull away.
And Patrick Colby hails from New Hampshire. So we have a lot of guys with accents cheering on Patrick Colby on the East Coast as he leads this race. Aaron Smith II, our pole sitter, is running in second.
Oh, I thought Aaron was going to try to take it to the outside, but he does pull back in. And
someone thought about 3 wide down the backstretch. Jay Steffi got a little bit loose off the corner, and it looks like he's battling a loose condition. And the 7 is one of the cars that is attempting to get by him. That's Wesley Pistol, and Pistol gets loose off the corner. A lot of cars out here are not driving so well, Tony.
No, you can tell that some people haven't taken tires or anything yet, and going through a couple heat cycles, they're probably worn out pretty well. But we still haven't hit the first fuel window, so people are probably trying to stay on their tires as long as possible so they can stay on stretch this fuel out as long as possible. But again, Patrick Colby's holding on to the lead up front. It looks like Daniel Berg in the 88 has caught the 70 of Aaron Smith and the 9 of Patrick Colby here. Johnny Rapp is a little bit further back, but yeah, I think people are starting to pull back up here as they're still single file.
So it looks like the first 9 or so cars are single file, but it is starting to get a little bit testy up here as Wesley Pistol looks to make a move on the outside, but he has no help.
And we did get a word from Lovell in the chat. He said he did like getting hit out there twice. He thought it was really nice. So I'm glad Lovell's having fun, or had fun. Hopefully he can have a better time next week, as I believe next week is Rockingham. Up front though, Aaron Smith is on the outside. Yep. Yeah, especially with these cars. Aaron Smith is looking to pass Patrick Colby here at the line, but I think Colby did lead the lap there.
And Sam Oliver pushing Aaron Smith II on the high side. And Smith II battling a loose race car, but he is still keeping his foot on it as they come off turn number 2.
Yeah, and he's got a little bit better help here as Oliver is closer to him than what Berg is to Colby.
And Oliver got into the back of Smith II and got him really squirrely.
But it gave him enough momentum to clear Colby there going into 3, and he's able to hang on to it, as you did see his rear end get a little wiggly going into the corner. But Aaron Smith is back up front to lead again. But Colby is still trying to look back to the inside here. as they go through
Thought
the
about making the
tri-oval.
move there, but he had to check up a little bit, and that's going to give Oliver a chance to slingshot to the inside. And here comes James Suggs looking to join the fray.
Looks like the 88 got a little loose there and had to back up, and James Ledford in the 48 passed him on the outside, but everyone's keeping it nice and clean here yet as Oliver's looking to try to get around Aaron on the backstretch. He does pull ahead going into 3.
And let's give a tip of the cap to Chris Smith. He was involved in that big wreck with Matt Sheriff earlier in the race, and here he is back in the lead pack, pushing Wesley Pistol up to the front.
And James Suggs is making some moves up here, trying to get to the lead.
And Aaron Smith II, you also got to give a tip of the cap to him. Went to the back, and he's back to the front already, as we're on lap 31 of this event. Whoa, Smith had to check up a little bit. Him and looks like that wasn't Wesley Pistol. That was Patrick Colby. He nearly got in the back of him, gave him a chance. And now James Suggs is up to the second spot. He goes to the outside, and he's looking to take the lead, but he's got no help. That could cost him coming off turn 4, as James Ledford is on the inside with Wesley Pistol. But Pistol, he's confused. He goes to the high side, goes to the low side, and he's going to decide to stick with Ledford.
Yeah, you could see on the backstretch, Aaron was trying to get them to break the draft there, but it didn't quite work as Suggs got to his outside, but everyone else stayed on the bottom, so Aaron was able to keep the momentum and stay in the lead as Suggs is falling back here. He lost 3 spots there in that corner, and Chris Smith is trying to make it 4. And here you see, again, Aaron is moving around, trying to break the momentum of the guys behind him.
It looks like Aaron Smith II, he's quite a master at blocking as he weaved from top to bottom to break the momentum, as you said. Here, Ledford looking to the bottom. What's Smith going to do? Because Ledford, he has help from Wesley Pistol, and it looks like Ledford has the momentum, and we have a new leader here at Daytona, and that's James Ledford.
Yeah, he was able to get his nose under him, and Aaron wasn't able to come down on that, so Aaron just let it go and didn't want to force any issues. And as you can see, he's falling back now, and now there's Wesley Pistol's trying to get to the lead.
And Pistol went to the high side temporarily, but he decided to go back to the bottom because there's not a lot of help on the outside right now, and Aaron Smith II is all by himself.
Yeah, and we are a few laps away from the pit window for anyone who hasn't pit yet, but they've been able to save a few laps. So we're looking around 40 to 45 right now for the laps for pit stops if we stay green here. And any of those who have not pit for fuel at all this race, probably going to be coming down around that time. As Aaron's hanging on pretty tough on that outside, he's still battling for third there, and now it looks like Chris is also coming up to the top to help him, and then he falls back to the bottom as they head into the corner. Yeah, everyone's keeping it pretty clean here this run.
And they had no choice after 3 cautions in a relatively short span of time. Some guys had to crank down on the aggression. Otherwise, we may not even have a field at the end of the race. But it looks like these guys are doing quite a great job as James Ledford continues to lead this race here on lap 35. You're watching the Apex Energy 200 from Daytona International Speedway. Ryan O'Hara alongside Tony Hilbrand. And Tony, it's been a fun race so far. What are your thoughts so far?
I think everyone's been putting on a pretty good show. Obviously, there's been incidents here and there, but that's bound to happen, especially when you're running this fast and cars that handle this poorly at a track this tight. But yeah, I think we're having a pretty good show. We still have most of the people in the race. It looks like there's still only 2 people who are officially out. Ben Keese is still off track, but he has not been ruled out of the race yet. Nicholas Lovell and Patrick O'Toole are the only 2 that are officially out so far.
And I didn't want to interrupt your little recap, but we did have a minor incident while you were talking. James Suggs got into the outside wall, and he has moved back to the 13th position.
Yeah, he's falling back quite a bit there. He doesn't look to have too much damage though, so it's probably just got up there and brushed a little bit. But someone else who had an incident earlier in the race and has moved back up to 7th is, oh wait, as we were talking about that, it looks like James Suggs had another incident as he.
Oh, in trouble. Suggs is in the infield grass, and around he goes. No caution yet.
Well, that's another thing coming out of turn 4. He just got too tight, hit the wall, got sent to the inside, hit the inside wall hard, and his left front wheel broke off as he goes flying through the grass. So, no caution, he said so far. There's a wheel rolling out there, so he does get it back going and pulls onto pit road. But we are under green, and up front, we got a battle for second as Aaron Smith is trying to pull around the outside, and now he's trying to take the lead.
So it looks like right now James Suggs is a walking endorsement for Hoosier tires, but not in the good sense because the left front tire is hanging off that number 20 machine.
Yeah, and as we came back to watch the battle up front, Aaron Smith made a extremely strong move, passing 2 people on the outside to take the lead, and now he's pulling away. But yeah, as we were saying, as I was trying to bring up here before that incident happened, Braxton DeWeese, who was in that last caution prior to this run, he's moved back up to 7th here, and his car is still clean, as we were saying earlier, and he has a nice run going on out there.
And
up front,
Sam
though,
Oliver. Oh, sorry. Go
ahead. I was about to say the same thing, so go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, Sam Oliver, initially retired from this league, I'm assuming for a number of years, and his comeback race was last week here at Daytona for the Clash. He won that, and here he is running second. And as we stated before the beginning of this race, Tony, it would be quite a story for Oliver to come out of retirement and win back-to-back races off the bat. That's a story we haven't heard in quite some time, if ever.
Well, he'd definitely show everyone that he's the guy to beat this season if that is the case. But again, there's a lot of other strong contenders out there. One of them being the leader right now, Aaron Smith, who won the last 2 Cup Series championships for Slingshot Racing League. And so he's out here to try to win a 3rd one in a row. And then Patrick Colby, who won a couple of races at the Truck Series last season, he's running 3rd, and Chris Smith has been strong the past 2 weeks as well, running there in 4th.
And Ben Keast is back on the racetrack. However, he has scored 33 laps down as Sam Oliver moves to the inside, side by side down the backstretch, going to turn 3, and Oliver looks like he will take the lead. Patrick Colby is sticking onto the bottom of the racetrack, but Aaron Smith, the second, he is fighting hard on the outside. Let's see what happens here at the start-finish line. It's a battle to see who will lead this lap. Smith has a good run, but at the line, and it looks like Oliver will lead that lap. That was lap 41, as we are officially halfway here in the Apex Energy 200 at Daytona International Speedway.
And we've got a nice, good green flag run going, and in the next 5 to 10 laps, you should see everyone probably hitting pit road again. This time under green to get some green flag pit stops so they can fuel up. And yeah, everyone's lining up on the bottom, and Aaron's just sitting there by himself on the outside going, well, you guys have fun down there. I'm going to stay right here, and I'm not going anywhere.
And that machine of Aaron Smith II, he is so strong. Kind of reminds me of Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 2004 Aaron's 499 when it looked like he could literally just pass people without drafting help. And Aaron Smith, he doesn't have much drafting help, if any, but he is still hanging tough here on the outside.
It looks like he might actually make the pass here for the lead if he can keep the momentum up coming out of the corner. We did see, while you were bringing that up on the front stretch, Oliver was doing everything he could to block Aaron's run, but he couldn't quite do it as they're still side by side going down the backstretch, with Patrick Colby not too far behind Oliver in 3rd. And here comes Braxton DeWeese on the outside. He's got the draft there. He's trying to get to Aaron's bumper so he can help him, as Patrick Colby actually jumps up to the outside. And now he's back to Patrick's trying to block and keep his spot. So we'll see how this goes. A lot of movement up front here.
And DeWeese was involved in an earlier spin, and here he is inside the top 5.
He's done a good job coming back towards the front.
And Aaron Smith the second, he has the edge coming down the backstretch, but Colby, he's getting right up to that bumper of Sam Oliver, and they're going to blow past him. And Chris Smith is going to try to join the fray as well. Smith's still hanging. Smith the second, that is, since we have so many Smiths in this race. Smith the second is hanging strong on the high side, but I think he is finally getting ganged up on. Wesley Pistol is there as well, and it looks like Smith the second, coming out of turn 2, will potentially fall back to the 5th spot.
Well, as you saw coming out of 4 there, it looked like Aaron's tires are finally going away on him. He was having to really fight that car to keep it off the wall coming out of 4, and he lost a lot of momentum. So he might be trying to get to the bottom. Yep, as you see, he goes to the bottom there on the backstretch as soon as the hole opened up. Colby going to the outside. He has a big run. He's going to take the lead going into turn 3. So we do have another new leader as Patrick Colby moves back to the front here.
And New Hampshire's Patrick Colby with his fiance watching from her computer or phone. We're not sure which, but she is watching as Patrick Colby leads here at Daytona. Sam Oliver nearly got the wall coming off 4, and that's going to allow Chris Smith to get to the inside, and we'll see what these other guys have in mind.
Yeah, Chris definitely took advantage of that, and it looks like he will clear him. And Wesley Pistol is going to try to follow him through, and Aaron Smith now on the bottom line is trying to come back by as well.
And Patrick Colby got a little bit far away from the pack. There is a risk with that, Tony. If you're able to get a good group of cars together, you could essentially blow right past him. And Colby saw what was coming through a decent block on the 28. He was able to prevent that momentum from taking over. So good job on Patrick Colby's behalf. They crossed the start-finish line to complete lap 45 of this race.
As you're saying, if you can get a bunch of momentum and pull out to a big lead, but once you get too far out, then you lose that momentum while they're lined up and they keep it. So there's going to be a point where they're going to have a lot more speed than you. As Aaron Smith back to the outside tried to take the lead, but Patrick Colby goes up there and blocks. Now Chris Smith on the bottom is going to try to take the lead going into 3 here, and he is on the inside. He's going to force Patrick to stay up there.
And here comes Chris Smith on the inside, and he will take the lead coming off turn number 4. And this all started, it was really topsy-turvy, Tony. First and foremost, Chris Smith got a little squirrely. Sam Oliver had to check up. That Aaron Smith, the second, took that opportunity to go to the outside, and ironically, after all that was said and done, that opened the door for Chris Smith, despite getting loose the previous lap, to take the lead.
But here comes Sam Oliver back into second place, looking to go back to the lead as well.
The entire top 10 is here double file, with the exception of the top 2 cars.
Yeah, and it looks like Chris Smith, Sam Oliver, and Wesley Pistol have only been on this set of tires, at least, if not fuel, for 23 laps. Patrick Colby in 4th has been on his run for 47 laps, and Johnny Rapp, who just passed him, has been on his run for 40 laps. So those two for sure are going to have to pit soon. While these top 3 could probably go another 10 laps if need be. So if it stays green, there's going to be a lot of different strategies playing out here as we continue. And it looks like, as I was saying, some of these guys are falling back, and they might be trying to get in line so they can go down pit road here.
And Daniel Berg was one of those guys. In fact, he actually entered the apron from turn 3. He nearly lost it. But he was able to get the car back underneath of him and get to pit road.
And he's
but Tony,
the first
when you
one
make
to take
when you make a mistake, especially under green flag conditions, that's going to cost you on the racetrack.
Yeah, because there's no caution to help slow everyone else down.
Crashed into Wee spins, and he's into the inside wall.
And that's another thing you're talking about, making mistakes trying to get on the pit road into green. We will check out this replay. Yeah, he just looks like he just got too hot on the brakes there. He was carrying too much speed, and the car just broke. It just broke from underneath him, and he heads straight into the inside wall. That's a lot of nose damage. It looks like we're still green, as well as he does a 360 and pulls away without any other issues. So he's probably that's gonna hurt his chances here tonight, as he's gonna be on pit road for quite a while, it looks like.
And he nearly missed his pit box. He locked up the tires entering his box and nearly went right through. Right through. So that's another thing. But insult to injury because he's going to be on pit road for a while, and that's unfortunate because he had a good car. He was involved in an earlier spin. He got back to the top five, and like you said, just got too hard on the brakes, and the car just snapped from underneath of him.
Well, depending on how much damage he has to take right now, if he can get lucky enough to fix what he can, get back on the track and hope for a caution, because again, trying to get on pit road with these cars with old tires, as you can see, is dangerous. Maybe he can get catch a caution and either stay on the lead lap or get a lucky dog and get back on the lead lap. But he's gonna need some help here the rest of the night. Is the top 7 are staying out, and these guys are all on like about 30 laps on their run, so they got another 5 to 10 laps. These guys do, because they must have pit under the last caution we had, so they can go quite a bit farther on fuel than as we saw the others who have pit. But those others who have pit, they can probably stretch it to the end if they need to on fuel. So it's basically this stop in this section of events is the money stop for everyone if it stays green the rest of the way.
And Ellis Thomas was below the yellow line. I believe there's no issue with his car. I believe he just got under the yellow line to let the lead lap traffic go by. So good move there from Thomas as Chris Smith continues to lead the pack.
And Sam Oliver is right there with him, and there's a little bit of gap, followed by Johnny Rapp, Chris Whitaker, Wesley Pistol, and James Ledford. The rest of your top 6 here that have broken away from everyone else.
And if you're in need of any button boxes, be sure to check out our sponsor, Sim Racing Concepts, www.simracingconcepts.com. And we're on lap 52 of this 80-lap race. Green flag pit stops should be coming up soon, and that should add a whole layer of strategy into this race, Tony.
Well, we've already had a set of pit stops because of there's people out of sequence with each other, so we'll see how it all plays out here in the end once these guys make their pit stops, because everyone has to pit before the end of the race, and the guys that we were watching a handful of laps ago, they can possibly stretch it to the end on fuel if need be, so that's probably their only pit stop of the race, unless we do get another caution before this race is over, which is definitely possible.
But there's also a risk of staying out in the front for too long, Tony, especially if there's not a caution. So guys like Aaron Smith II, they may end up burning more fuel just by being out front for too long.
Well, they've already made their pit stops. Aaron's leading the group of cars that have made their pit stops. He's followed by Scott Sobczak and Patrick Colby. The top 9, and he's running in 10th. The top 9 have not pit under green yet, but the longer they stay out, the more time they're going to lose to the fresher tires of the other guys. As you can see, they're actually catching up. They're not too far back there, but those guys are 1 lap down. So Aaron on back is 1 lap down, so they have to pass these guys twice if they want to take the lead. But these guys staying out longer, when they do come down, they don't have to put as much fuel in the car either. As you can see, Johnny Rapp and Chris Whitaker are coming down pit road to make their pit stop. We'll see if they take 4 tires and how much fuel they put in, because again, they don't have to take a full tank because they're well within the fuel window. So that's possible time they can gain by not spending as much time on pit road here.
You'd be surprised if we see any guys take 2 tires.
Actually, yes, because
oh, sorry, trouble on pit road. Chris Whitaker misses his box. He tried to pit inside the box. It looks like he was stuck inside another driver's pit box, and
yeah, he locked up his tires entering his stall, and he got into the wall, and then he had to take 2 tires so he could come back out with Johnny Rapp. Johnny probably, it looked like he did possibly take 4, but Whitaker had to take 2 to get back in off the track, off pit road with Johnny there. But it looks like he is still going to lose a little bit of time to Johnny, as the leaders just put them a lap down. So Chris Smith, Sam Oliver, Wesley Pistol, James Ledford, Matt Scherf, all on the track still. They they got another they got a few laps here, possibly about 6 laps at the most before they have to pit for fuel, and they're trying to put everyone as they can a lap down so they can get on pit road, take what they need to get to the end on fuel, and get back out and try to keep them all a lap down or a huge distance behind them so they can just ride it out to the end. But we'll see if any, as you can see, Steffi was coming off pit road there. But yeah, they're gonna try to make this an easy roll to the end for them as long as no cautions come out the rest of the way here. But yeah, again, Aaron Smith, Scott Sobczak, Patrick Colby, they're the first ones that did make a pit stop under this green cycle, and they're not too far behind this lead group, but they are a lap down, so they need to get by these guys as fast as they can and try to still make up basically another lap so that they can pass them for position. And they'll definitely get to them again once these guys make their pit stop. They just want to try to be ahead of them before they make their pit stop. It looks like we might be getting some info that lap 60 is when the leaders are planning on pitting. So that's just going to be in a lap and a half, 2 laps here. And we'll see if they do come down pit road there. As you see, Eric Kulaga is also coming off pit road.
But we've seen green flag pit stop mistakes plaguing a couple of drivers. One of them, Braxton DeWeese, spun his number 15 machine into the inside wall while trying to make his green flag pit stop. And you can't commit any mistakes, especially on pit road. Some drivers can get away with it, just depending on how circumstances play out. But for Braxton DeWeese, it looks like his day and his chance of winning here at Daytona are pretty much over. He's scored a lap down right now, and with severe front end damage.
Yeah, the damage is what's really hurting him. If it was just a time loss, he could possibly make that up with the caution. But even now with the caution, he might be able to get back to the lead lap. But to do that, he's gonna have to take the wave around, and then he won't be able to fix his damage. So either way, he's kind of hurting right now. And the leaders are about a straightaway behind him to put him another lap down, unless they come down pit road before they do that. But as you see, the top 4, they still have to pit, but Aaron, Scott, and Patrick are all right there on their tail now. So they want to try to get around them before they pit or as they're pitting so that they can make up as much ground as they can before these guys come back off pit road. It looks like Aaron is trying to pass these guys right now.
And if your intelligence is correct, we should expect Chris Smith to hit pit road here in just a few moments.
Yeah, Chris, Oliver, Pistol, and Ledford all do still have to pit yet, and we'll see if they come down this time.
And here they come.
Oliver wasn't expecting that. He had to really lock it up, but yeah, here they come, and so does James Suggs back there. That's their top. Oh, he seems to be a lap down. But, oh, he might have sped there coming onto pit road. But yeah, here's your top 4 on pit road. Matt Scherf is the last one to pit. He is still on the track, so he's gonna try to. He led that lap, so he's gonna try to maybe come down this time after getting a bonus point for that. But with that, yeah, he's your leader. But Aaron, Scott Sobczak, and Patrick Colby all got their laps back while that was happening, and we'll see if they can come out ahead of Chris, Sam, James, and Wesley, or if those 4 that just pit can come back out in front of Aaron, as it looks like they are going to come back out in front of Aaron, as Aaron, Scott, and Patrick are in 3 and 4 right now, and these guys are already pulling off pit road. We'll see if they can get up to speed before they catch them.
And it'll be very interesting to see.
There they go. That was sorry about that, but yeah, there goes Aaron, Patrick, and Scott. So they did make it around those 4. So this will be your leader once Matt Scherf in the 43 pits, who stayed out once again as he's coming through 1 and 2. So he's probably hoping for a caution here.
But it looks like Sam Oliver may have brushed above one of the double yellow lines before re-entering the racetrack. He may get black flag for a blend line violation. We'll see what happens.
If you bring up the info tab, you can see if he's got a black flag or not. He's staying out right now, so I don't know if he did catch it. But these three did get hooked up again with Wesley Pistol, Sam Oliver, and Chris Smith. And James Ledford's a little bit behind them, but he's got the draft, so he'll be there. Again, your leader's right behind them as well. Matt Scherf is staying out. I think he's going to try to run this as long as he can and hope for a caution, but he's on lap 39 of his stint, so he's probably going to be coming down pit road in the next lap or two. And he does still have some right front damage, so that's not helping him either keep up running at optimal speed. So we'll see what happens here as he's coming through 3 and 4.
And we had more trouble on pit road. Al Corey completely missed his pit box, so that's insult to injury as he entered pit road in the 17th position.
That's unfortunate for Al Corey. Hopefully he can make the most of his night still. And again, Matt Scherf is staying out. He's going to run this thing dry. Looks like he might be hoping that Jay Steffi in the 94 will draft with him to help give him an extra lap possibly, but it doesn't look like they're working together too well here.
Doesn't look like Mr. Steffi is too interested at the moment, as he's more interested in getting around him so he can get his lap back.
And here he comes. Matt Scherf, your race leader, is finally coming down pit road on lap 64, crossing over to 65. And that will give the lead over to Aaron Smith, who's just coming out of turn 2 as Matt Scherf is crossing the start-finish line on pit road. So he's got a half a lap lead. I don't think he's gonna get back out in front of those guys, but we'll see how this works out for him.
He may be able to get out of pit road before getting past, but the issue is, once he gets out of pit road, he's gonna need, at least a half a lap just to get the speed back underneath of him.
Yep. And he's gotta stay on the apron until he gets to the backstretch. So that's
trouble! And it's Daniel Burr. Caution is out.
Oh. It looks like he got into the wall pretty good. We'll see.
Lost it. He just lost it in the middle of turns 1 and 2. And
he's running all by himself. Yeah, he's running all by himself, and he got loose, and he got sideways. Overcorrects. And yeah, he was running backwards as cars were coming up. And no, he did keep it off the wall. So he doesn't look to have any damage, but it does bring out our, our 4th caution of the night, I believe. So, yep, our 4th caution of the night. So that's going to definitely...
trying to get past Sobczak and Aaron Smith II, but Tony, this changes everything. A caution with 65 laps to go. Things are about to get very, very, very interesting.
Well, this definitely helps like Sam Oliver, Wesley Pistol, Chris Smith, James Ledford, and even Matt Scherf, who like just pit, because they're on basically fresh tires, but Aaron, Scotty, Patrick, the top 3, they're on 15-lap-old tires already. So honestly, they might want to come down and get some tires because that's gonna be a huge gap on rubber, and the handling's gonna be a lot worse for these guys. And we'll see if Aaron, Scotty, and Patrick come down pit road here.
And do we have any takers? Let's see. We've had a few fakers, so let's see who's serious.
Yep. The top. It looks like
all of them are.
Yeah, except for Sam Oliver and Wesley Pistol, James Ledford, and Johnny Rapp. They're staying out. But while these guys are doing their pit stops, we will let you guys watch that. But we will also bring up our driver of the race here, so you can check out who our driver of the race is this week.
Hey, Patrick Colby, driver of the number 9. 5 questions, 45 seconds. What is your job outside of sim racing? I work in the parts department at an automotive dealership. Ford to be precise. That's why I drive Fords. Love Fords. They're great. Chocolate or vanilla? That's easy. It's vanilla. Chocolate's gross. It's overrated. Stop it. Put it away. First real life race you remember watching? Probably the 99 Daytona 500, the one where Dale Jarrett won in real life. 2005 New Hampshire race. Tony Stewart won that one. First one I went to. Best condiments to put on a hot dog? Just mustard. Mustard's totally fine. Favorite racetrack to race at? Probably Kansas. It's the best for me, I think.
That was your driver of the week for this week, Patrick Colby, the driver of the number 9 car. And again, up front, your leader will be Sam Oliver in the 59 as he's decided to stay out, followed by Wesley Pistol, James Ledford, Johnny Rapp, Matt Scherf. Those are the 5 cars that decided to stay out. Scotty Sobzak was the first car off pit road. He passed Aaron Smith. But yeah, we got. I think we're coming to 1 to green this time by, and we are currently on lap 66 here of 80 laps for the Apex Energy 200 at Daytona. How do you think this race is going to play out the rest of the way here, Brian? And it looks like Matt Scherf is or Al Corey is coming down pit road. Sorry about that.
Well, it's people are going to get pretty aggressive, and that tends to happen at Daytona and Talladega, those type of tracks. And if we take a look at some of the drivers, they actually list on their profile like their driving style. And one of the drivers that describes himself as aggressive is Daniel Berg, and he brought out the last caution. So, but you know what? I expect it to be aggressive. We're coming towards the end of the race. Maybe we see a couple wrecks along the way. I don't think we're done with crashes. This is our version of the Daytona 500, and everyone wants that virtual trophy. But, Tony, speaking of trophies, do you like trophies? Like having trophies on your desk and whatnot?
Everyone loves a trophy. It's definitely, especially if you earn it.
Absolutely. Well, if you love trophies, be sure to check out our sponsor at Etsy. You want a custom trophy? Check out www.etsy.com/shop/UD Awards. That is www.etsy.com/shop/UD Awards, and you can get your own custom trophy. Check it out today.
Yeah, it looked like we were coming to the 1 to green, but I think they must have added a lap.
They did. Scott, our race control guy, added an extra lap, and caution laps do count, so that is one more. And interesting, couple guys just got end of line penalties. James Suggs and Al Corey were both given end of line penalties. And Tony, I believe this was related to their pit road incidents.
Okay. Well, it looks like they were just trying to straighten things out here before we come back to green. So if we get the 1 to go this time, we will be taking the green on lap 69 then. So that will only be 12 laps to go when we go back to green here. So not a lot of time. So yeah, there's definitely gonna be a lot of shaking and moving, trying to get to the front, and even trying to hold off people. And it looks like Scott Tompkins said it was an iRacing glitch.
Ah, interesting. Don't you love glitches?
Yeah, at least they make things interesting. Nice to have a little bit of a, oh, I didn't expect that. But yeah, we're coming 1 to green this time by. Your leader, Sam Oliver, has chosen the outside line yet again for this restart. That puts Wesley Pistol on the inside. That's your front row. Your second row will be James Ledford and Johnny Rapp. 5th place will be Matt Scherf. Scotty Sobzak in 6th. Aaron Smith 7th. Chris Smith 8th. 9th is Jay Steffi. And 10th is Patrick Colby for the restart here.
And Tony, a majority of the drivers in the Slingshot Racing League describe their style as fast but polite. However, we're at Daytona International Speedway. This is our version of the Daytona 500. I think it's going to be anything but polite in the last 10 laps.
Well, I mean, I'd describe last week's finish as fast and polite, but we'll see if they're as nice as they were last week tonight, because points are actually on the line this week, as this is the first points race of the season. And there's only 6 races in the season, so every race really matters. So we'll see if anyone's like, hey, I like you, but I gotta win this thing.
But if you have the last name of Pistol, I think you have a last name that could resonate with slingshot moves. And having that last name with an extra E on it, a little bit of extra spice, I think Wesley Pistol may have a shot here.
Definitely. And anyone who's got a running car and on the lead lap here, as there's 12 people still in the lead lap, as we're about to take the green, pace car pulls off. Sam Oliver leads us to the restart.
And Oliver looks like he's going to get a decent jump. We're back underway. Green flag.
It looks like
And they're
Wesley.
wrecking. James Suggs involved as well as Daniel Berg. Caution is out again. What in the world, Tony? Let's see what happens here.
I'm trying to find him on the
It's a major checkup. Someone missed a shift or something, and James Suggs piled into the back of Ben Keast. Ellis Thomas got a piece of it, and Daniel Berg was unable to avoid it. And wow, interesting.
That looked like he just tried to time it, and nobody ahead of him was going yet.
Oh no, that's actually not true. Let's take a look. Take a look at Eric Kaluga. Eric Kaluga. Well, yeah, Eric Kaluga gets on the brakes and then speeds up.
Yeah, but nobody in front of him was going, so he couldn't go either. So it was just
Yeah.
People were trying to time the start, and they just mistimed it, and that led to a multi-car wreck here, which is unfortunate for all involved. But that's what happens when you try to jump starts like that. So we'll see if anything happens, or if they learn from this next restart. So
it looks like Kaluga was trying to time the start, and he slammed on the brakes. Ben Keast was actually following him, thinking he had a great idea, and well, it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, that is unfortunate again for all involved, but that's the risk you take when you do that. While we are back under caution, we will take one more quick commercial break here before the next restart, which is hopefully the last, and we are on 11 laps to go. So we're coming down to the end of the race, guys. We will catch you back in a minute.
How do we get these one-of-a-kind amazing trophies? Well, we were fortunate to find UD Awards when we started our league. We reached out and we connected with Christopher, and we got started designing these one-of-a-kind works of art. The process was easy from start to finish. After just a few revisions, we finalized each one of them, and the team at UD got to work building each trophy from scratch. They're a small team, but they've got the ability to do just about anything your brain can imagine. And don't worry, if you're not an artist, they've got an entire catalog of unique trophies in pretty much any material you can imagine. Wood, acrylic, glass, and in the case of last season's trophy, metal. The best part, they're affordable. If you're looking for a trophy for your event or league, the choice is simple. UD Awards can give you exactly what you want. Are you looking for high-quality, affordable sim racing paint schemes and graphics? Then look no further than Evan at Evan Pienta Designs. Driven by speed, Evan Pienta Designs offers a multitude of sim racing graphics, from liveries to social media graphics to team and series logos. To see some of the work done by Evan, or even race one of the public liveries he's made, head on over to tradingpaints.com and search Evan Pienta.
And you're watching the Apex Energy 200 at Daytona International Speedway. I'm Ryan O'Hara alongside Tony Hilbrand, and if you're not watching this race, you are missing out, because we're coming towards the end of this amazing event. And Tony, it has been, I wouldn't say it's been caution-filled. I think it's been a very entertaining race. We've had a lot of cautions at the very beginning, but we've had two crucial yellows here late in the race that have shaken up things.
Yeah, there was a couple different strategies for the green flag pit cycle, which we had 3 cautions in the first 10, 15 laps or so. Then we had a really long run, and again, because people pitting under those first cautions, some people didn't. We had a couple different groups, about 10 to 15 laps apart on fuel under the green flag run, and it was all sorting out to be a run to the end with about 15 or so laps left, and then a caution came out, and then on that last restart, people tried taking advantage of things that weren't quite there, and that brought out another caution. And we are currently on 9 laps to go. We will be taking the green with 8 laps to go, and we will see if we can make it to the end here without using either of our 2 green-white checkers, but personally, I think we will probably end up with at least 1 or 2 more cautions. Hopefully, though, it stays green. There's gonna be a lot of shaking up going around here because we got some fast guys about 6-7 cars deep here, and we got fast cars up front as well. So we'll see who tries to push the issue here.
And speaking of shaking things up, it looks like Daniel Berg is having some netcode issues.
He likes to be blinking here a little bit. Hopefully that can fix for him once we go back to green. I know some people have that issue under caution for whatever reason.
I've seen that. I haven't seen any blinking from him until now, so interesting timing, but we'll see how things play out. And looks like Daniel Berg is being sent to the back of the field.
And also under that caution, the 50 car of Brandon Waldrop got the lucky dog, so that puts 13. Oh, yeah, that should put 13 people on the lead lap, I believe. But yeah, Sam Oliver, your race leader, decided to take the outside line yet again for this restart as the pace car is about to come down pit road.
And we will have 8 laps to go once the green comes out as the field stacks up towards the back. Sam Oliver will lead the field to the green flag, and we're back underway. In a decent-sized jump, this prevented any guys from trying to jump the restart. Good restart there from the 59 machine.
And the 48 jumped with him, so they might have had something worked out to time it. And the 48 does clear the 7 of Wesley Pistol as well. So these two might be, Sam Oliver and James Ledford might be working together here, trying to run away with this win here before this is over. But there's some strong cars coming up, as you see Scotty Sobczak and Aaron Smith II on the outside working together. They have a huge run going into 3. They passed a couple cars there as they moved to the outside.
And Patrick Colby and Braxton DeWeese are working together. Somehow DeWeese still has a car that's somewhat in one piece and running after his
and
pit
he
road
is
accident.
back on the lead lap as well.
Oh, and he nearly got on the outside wall, just as I said it. May have jinxed him there, but he got his door. Oh, we have a car on the wall, and that's Chris Whitaker, and he's going to fall back.
He must have brushed it, but up front they're side by side, 2 deep here, as it's Oliver on the inside, Sobczak on the outside. Oliver's being pushed by Ledford, and Sobczak's being pushed by both Aaron Smith II and Chris Smith. So the Smiths are working together on the outside currently. We are coming to 6 laps to go this time by when they cross the line.
And our leader at the line is going to be Scotty Sobczak.
That'll give him a bonus point too for leading lap. I believe that's his first lap led of the race. Aaron is all over his back bumper trying to get him to clear Oliver there on the inside. But they're still side by side here with the top 7 or 8 cars all grouped together. See some people making moves in the back, trying to move up to the front as well.
And Chris Whitaker has recovered. Oh, he gets in the back of Patrick Colby. Oh, is Colby going to save it?
He saved it. And he gets rear-ended. Airborne. The 45. Let us watch this replay. We're going to ride along the whole way here.
Well, we're going to have a very unhappy fiance after seeing that replay.
Let us ride along in the in-car with Patrick Colby as he gets turned. And he was trying to save this for about 10 seconds before it just snapped on him. And then he gets rear-ended at full speed and goes airborne. Unfortunate for Patrick Colby here.
But also at the same time, what was Al Corey doing?
I am not sure. Let's see if we could ride along with him as well and see what he saw. We'll try to see what he saw as well.
From my perspective, it looked like he had plenty of time to avoid that.
Yeah, as you can see, there's already smoke and Patrick's sitting there. And he goes right at the smoke. I don't know if he thought he was gonna be gone or what happened there, but he just rear-ended him at full speed, and his night's probably over. I don't know if Patrick is gonna be able to get his car fixed or not, but yeah, we're in the closing laps, so we'll see what happens out here. Patrick is still rolling. His nose and his sides look fine, but yeah, he did get rear-ended really hard. And he's gonna come down pit road. Let's try to see how much damage it looks like he's got. Oh yeah, his rear end's caved in pretty well. We'll see. We'll see how much he can get fixed here under this caution as he pulls into his box.
Very interesting turn of events, but one of our predictions came true, Tony, and that was more wrecks.
Unfortunately, and we see Deweese is back on pit road. He's taking tires, and he might try to get some more damage fixed. Johnny Rapp is also on pit road, and he's taking tires. Patrick took his 4 tires as well, and now he's staying to get his damage fixed. There's I believe that's Al Corey coming down pit road as well now. Finally, he had to go all the way around the track. Up front, though, it's Sam Oliver is still your leader, followed by Scotty Sobczak, James Ledford, and Aaron Smith. And then 5th is Chris Smith.
I have a feeling we're not done with the crashes. Hate to be pessimistic, but this is Daytona.
Yeah.
You know what?
We're currently on laps. We're currently on lap 77 of 80 as well, so we might get this restart in before a time extension, or we might be getting our first green-white checker. And again, there's only 2 green-white checkers, so if they use them both up, the race will end no matter what. Sorry, Brian.
Oh no, you're good. And Ellis Thomas is still on the lead lap. That's surprising, given all the stuff he's been through. And and since we last mentioned him, he also was involved in another incident, and he's got some rear end damage as well. Let's see if he can get off pit road in time.
I believe he had just gotten back on the lead lap, but yeah, he's still got some heavy damage as well. It looks like him and Patrick Colby did get a lot of his damage fixed. His car's looking pretty decent for what it could be. But yeah, all 3 of these guys, Al Corey also was coming off pit road there. They all got off pit road ahead of the leaders, so they're going to hang on to whatever lap they are on. Patrick Colby is on the lead lap, and so is Ellis Thomas. Al Corey is 2 laps down, though.
And for Patrick Colby, I'd say pretty decent for a guy who just got T-boned and was just 20 feet in the air.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, yeah. It could have been a lot worse for him, but yeah, this time we are on 1 to green. Lights are off on the pace car, but this time Sam Oliver has chosen the inside, so I believe he and the 48 of James Ledford are working together. But that leaves Scott Sobczak and Aaron Smith, who are 2 really fast and really good drivers. They were the championship 2 in the Cup Series last season. Aaron Smith was the one who ended up winning the Cup Series championship, and Scott Sobczak finished 2nd in the points last season. So they're definitely strong contenders in this as well. So we will see which one of these guys up front here can hang on for the win, or maybe there's gonna be some more incidents and someone else will sneak away with this win.
And in unsurprising news, Al Corey has been issued an EOL penalty. It appears Scott Tompkins of Racing Control felt that he had more than an adequate amount of time to avoid that crash, and we agree with that as we prepare for what could be the last restart of the race.
They will be restarting on lap 79, so this will be a natural green-white checker. So at most we will get 3 out of this, but yeah, they're going to be restarting on lap 79 here, so it'll be a green-white checker the natural way.
So that would mean most of what NASCAR does in real life is unnatural. That's a good joke. You should laugh at that. We head back to the green flag. Sam Oliver looking for 2 in a row. We're back underway.
Oliver and Ledford get a nice jump there. Ledford clipped the apron there a little bit, but Sobczak and Aaron Smith are tighter on each other, so we'll see if they can get the momentum as Oliver did try to block the line, but pulls back down in front of his on-track teammate at least. But here comes Aaron Smith pushing Scott Sodzak around the outside, and Sodzak will probably clear, but we'll see if Aaron can also clear here.
And Oliver didn't really have much of a choice there. He got a little bit too far away from his teammate and the pack in general. But let's see what happens. Sodzak's in the lead. Aaron Smith the second. He's still on the high side. And just like Sam Oliver, Sodzak's getting a little bit too far out. He's going to have to figure out who to block here. And it might be Aaron Smith the second. He's going to come back down to block Sam Oliver.
We are on the white flag lap. So this lap is the last lap of the race. But Sodzak has been doing a good job blocking both lines. So we'll see what happens here. Remember, though, if you get bumped, these cars like to get sent into the infield. So we'll see how aggressive everyone's going to be. Oliver and Smith door each other on the backstretch. Sodzak is blocking as they head into 3 here on the white flag.
Here they come into turn 3. What's going to happen coming off turn number 4? Scotty Sodzak looking to win the season opening race here at Daytona. Here they come off 4. Aaron Smith the second gets loose, saves it, and Scotty Sodzak will win the Apex Energy 200 here at Daytona.
And a photo finish for second as Oliver just squeezes past Aaron Smith there for second. Fourth will be James Ledford, and Braxton DeWeese with a destroyed front end comes home in 5th. He managed to pull out a great finish there after his night. He was involved in 2 incidents. And yeah, as you can see, he's got heavy nose damage, so he had a great finish with all things considered. But we will get your top 3 interviewed here in just a minute as try to get them all sorted. That was a great race. I hope everyone watching enjoyed, and we'll hear from your top 3 here in just a second. All right, do you want to take 3rd place?
Yeah, I can take 3rd.
All right, as we watch Scott Sodzak, who did a hell of a job here coming away with this win. He had to struggle through most of the night, but he was there at the end, and he pulls off this win as he's doing donuts in the infield here. We'll let him do his donuts here, and then we'll get the interviews going.
And what a great win for Scotty Sodzak to open basically our version of the Daytona 500. So this Apex Energy moment is brought to you by ATVO Overlays. Get your ATVO overlays on Instagram at Pierce_graphics. And like you said, Scotty Sodzak, I wouldn't say he struggled through most of the race, but I will say that, he ran a very smart, consistent race, and he didn't try to be too flashy at the very beginning. He's just stayed near the front, and when it counted the most, he made his move, and he made it count.
Yeah, he definitely did, and we're going to interview your 3rd place finisher, Aaron Smith, here in just a moment. Aaron Smith, you got a copy?
Yeah, I've got you.
Aaron Smith, congratulations on your 3rd place run. I know you're probably disappointed, given that you qualified on the pole for the race and led a good number of laps. But how was the race in your opinion?
The race itself was pretty fun. The cars handled pretty well. They got pretty tight after about 5 laps if you tore your tires up. But I tried to save them to the best of my ability. And while we didn't get that long of a green flag run, we had a solid run at the end there. And just ran my stuff up a little too hard in that last restart and wasn't able to get to second. It's a fun race overall.
And you were kind of a last-second inclusion into this race, and you came out of nowhere. Literally came out of nowhere. We didn't even have you on our list until the very last second. You ended up getting the pole and did a great job. And what was behind your decision making to join the league? Was it just a last minute negotiation?
Yeah, I had a big event planned tonight, and then it got canceled. So I figured I'd come over here and race y'all. So it was a solid decision. I'm glad I came. It was a good race. I'm glad to take part of it.
And thank you for joining us. And it was great watching you, and we wish you the best of luck in the next race at Rockingham.
Thank you.
Anyone you want to shout out or thank before you head out?
Oh yeah, I'd like to thank all the folks at the Slingshot Racing League for letting me hop in last minute and the off broadcast, and all the folks watching. Looking forward to getting back at it next week.
Good again. Congrats on third, and hopefully you see you up here again next week at Rockingham.
10-4. Thank you.
That was your third place finisher, Aaron Smith. We will be bringing up Sam Oliver, your second place finisher, in just a moment. Sam Oliver, you got a copy?
Yeah, man.
Well, you won the Clash last week. You had a really good shot at winning the points race here tonight to start off the season, but it was a really tough battle there with Sobzak and Aaron and all those guys. You come home second. How do you feel about tell us about your night?
Man, I'm thrilled. Anytime I can come away from this place and not be junked, it's an awesome night. To get a second place is icing on the cake. Some good points, and I was having a blast there at the end. I think we had the best drivers up front, racing each other hard, and pretty even tires. They had a slight advantage. The outside line did, but if I'd have gotten a better push on the inside line, maybe I would have won the race. But I'm glad to finish it clean and not be sliding across the finish line.
Yeah, you definitely did gave it your all, and just had a little bit more help there, and yeah, you probably could have won, but still second, as you said, not bad, especially with a clean car, and you led. I think you led the most laps. You led 34. Next week's Rockingham. What are you looking forward to next week for, or how do you think you're going to do next week?
I like Rockingham. It's a fun place to race. Short tracks in these cars are a ton of fun. Totally different than any other car on the oval discipline. So it chews up tires pretty good. You got to really manage your car, and I have a feeling we'll probably see a similar top five. Seems like the guys that finished tonight are got a lot of talent. The guys that finished in the top three.
Well, we hope to see you up here again next week. Congrats again on your second. Did anyone you want to shout out or thank before you head out here tonight?
My teammates, man, we worked really good together. Me and Ledford and Pistol and Suggs, we were all really just trying to work together to get the best finish possible for everybody. And I think I really played out well. And thanks you guys for doing the broadcast.
All right, well, again, congrats on second, and again, hopefully see you up here next week.
10-4.
Thanks, Sam. And I just wanted to say, one spot away from sweeping the speed weeks. Is there any way disappointing to you that you came up just a little bit short?
No, man, like I said, if I can have a clean finish and especially run up front at Daytona, it's awesome. I've so many times I've come here and just got caught up in other people's wrecks or collected at the finish line, and I'm good with it, man. Got a great victory last week, and second place ain't bad. I'm going to try and run points this season, so great way to start the season.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, and we'll see you at the Rock.
Copy.
That was your second place finisher, Sam Oliver, and now we're gonna interview your winner here tonight, Scott Sobzak, coming out of nowhere. Scotty Sobzak, you at the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's going on?
And congratulations, Scotty. You are our version of the Daytona 500 champion, winner of the Apex Energy 200. I wouldn't say you came out of nowhere because you were pretty much up there the entire race. You weren't necessarily leading, but you put yourself in a position to shock them at the end. And boy, did you make your move. Tell us how it all unfolded.
Man, I'll tell you what, it didn't start great because I missed the grid, started from the pits. So that was not a great start, but it turns out that was probably what had to happen given the number of cautions there and a little bit of chaos at the end. I've never been a great plate track racer. It's not really my thing, but with these cars where you got to kind of handle it around the turns and save a little bit, played into my hands a little bit, and honestly, it was some pit strategy with our team there that really helped us out, getting the last stop in and getting 4 tires and having the freshest tires at the front of the field. That was kind of what helped us get to the front at the end, and to appreciate those guys helping push between Smith and Colby and Lavelle, the little team that we formed out here this morning. So appreciate those guys.
And tell us about the racing in general. Were you surprised to see so many cautions, especially early in the race?
Not too much. We planned for that just to, anticipate 5 to 6 of these things. And with 80 laps, you gotta plan for everything. So Honestly, it wasn't as many as maybe there could have been, especially towards the very end. These things will go that green white checkered a bunch of times, and luckily we kind of got close, but didn't have to use any of them up. Just happy to see it go clean at the very end.
And the
How are,
next race is at Rockingham. You know,
how are you? How are you feeling about Rockingham? You think you got a shot next week?
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, a little late breaking news on that one. I won't be here next week. Unfortunately, my wife's giving birth to our first daughter, so there's probably a 0% chance I'll be in the car next Wednesday. But good luck to everyone else out there. I hate Rockingham, so let them have fun.
Well, that's
ha!
definitely a more important obligation, and congrats, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations.
Well, well, you got the win tonight. You got your baby coming. Is there anyone you want to shout out or thank before you head out here tonight and celebrate?
Yeah, totally. My wife Alex is probably upstairs, not feeling great. Obviously, little baby Junebug on the way on next Monday. Mr. Biggs, baby Remy, they're watching. Alyssa, Olivia, if they're watching, and thanks to the teammates here for helping us out today, and of course you guys for broadcasting and Slingshot for putting it on.
Well, again, congrats on the win and congrats on the baby, and we'll see you in a couple weeks, hopefully, or whenever you got time, because obviously that's gonna be a very time-consuming ordeal too. So, great job on the win tonight, man.
Yeah, I'll be back as soon as possible.
Congratulations again, and we'll see you soon.
Cool. Thank you.
That was your winner, and yeah, a couple of breaking news there. Unfortunately, he's not going to be here next week, but he's got a very valid reason. But yeah, that was a great race tonight, Ryan. Even with the cautions to start out, how do you think of the race went, and what are you looking forward to for next week?
I thought the race was better than expected. I thought the beginning was a little bit crazy with the wrecks, but you know they cleaned it up. We had a number of green flag runs, and then it got heated towards the end, and that's kind of what we expected. We expected to be a little bit crazy at the beginning. Guys getting ready for the first points race of the season. Everyone wants to establish who they are and what their goal is, and after some guys wiped out, they're like, okay, let's calm down a bit, get a green flag run in. Now we're going for basically the Apex Energy Daytona 500 win, and it's time to go for the win. And it came down to the cars that had been up in the front for most of the day. You had Aaron Smith the second up there, Sam Oliver, who won the Clash, and then you had Scotty Sobczak, the one guy that started on pit road and came through the field and snuck through for the win. So it was a fantastic race, in my opinion. How about you?
Oh, I enjoyed it. They put on a great show. Couldn't really ask for much more. And next week's gonna definitely be a door banger probably, and you're definitely gonna see who can handle the car the best. Again, everyone who watched, I hope you guys enjoyed the race as well. I'm Tony Hilbrands, and that is Ryan O'Hara, and we enjoy bringing this to you, and hopefully see you again next week.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. It was an honor to bring you this race, and especially to all the people in the chat. We had more people in the chat than ever before, so it seemed to me. But you guys were watching the Apex Energy Throwback Summer Series here on Twitch. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Ryan O'Hara. He's Tony Hilbrand, and we'll see you next week at Rockingham.